Why write this Bhagavad Gita for the 10th time? Isn't that a lot?
Well, not 10th time, not published, yeah, but yes, I've been writing on Bhagavad Gita in portions since actually from back in 1970s, late 70s, when I started speaking on Gita, and it will be published in some journals, some magazines. But in book form, I think this is fifth or sixth time. But anyway, because there's always a new understanding. To be very honest, when I was writing this particular translation in English, it is my first attempt in English. Uh, when the book was being set, the book was being set by our friend. At that time, last minute, I had to add 1 or 2 pages, a fresh understanding of a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter, where Krishna says, abandon all dharmas. So I was just, thinking about this. In one of the chapters, Krishna is saying, I come from age to uphold dharma. And this I keep explaining this I is not I, Krishna per se, son of Vasudeva, but this I is the eternal soul, the eternal self, the true self, the supreme being, whatever name we call it by. So one time he's saying that I come to uphold dharma, and then at the end of the day, 18th chapter, he says, abandon all dharmas.
Yeah.
And then I was just meditating. It came to me that okay, his meaning is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different. That's what I have written in the book. Dharma can be understood in many different ways, and his understanding of dharma in the 18th chapter is different. And a lot of people they translate dharma as religion. Now, dharma is not religion. Religion has got its doctrines, dogmas, creed, and all this thing. But dharma is, as explained very beautifully by Hikam, is the values, the eternal values.
Yeah.
The eternal values which are common, which are universal, and which can apply to all human beings. So, yes, I've been telling all my readers that please forgive me, I'm growing. I'm growing. So please forgive me, I'm developing. My thoughts are, I cannot claim that this is the end of it. As long as I live, I'll remain a student of Bhagavad Gita, and I may even write something else before I die as my last statement, my last testimony.
Yeah, don't die first. That's yeah. Yeah, I remember in your previous versions of Bhagavad Gita, you used to translate the word Atman into the local language. Of course, in this case, is Bahasa Indonesia. But then in this book, you remain by the terminology of Atman, not even changing to soul and spirit and all that. Why is that? And the second one is, I keep on laughing every time when you mention Jivatma as a confused Atma. How can Atma be confused? And I think this will relate to the question later on. There is Pak Reza Watimena. He says the question is maybe it's a bit Zenish because it's a practitioner in Zen. Well, the question is, who are you really? Because that is the question that keeps on popping up in his mind when he reads this book, this version of Bhagavad Gita of yours. Yeah, so that is
Once you have the answer, first of all, let me thank Pareza for taking his time, making his time to attend this program. Pareza, once this question is answered, the question drops by itself. I would always remind everybody to a story told by Ramakrishna Paramahansa. A doll made of salt wants to taste how salty is the water of the sea. And so it goes to the sea, but when it wants to taste the water of the sea, it dissolves into the sea. It doesn't come back to tell you how salty is the water of the sea. Or the Upanishads say that it is like giving a lump of sugar to a man who is dumb and to ask him to explain how sweet is sugar. Now, even if we are not dumb, Dumb in a sense we cannot speak, you know. Even if we are not dumb, it is not possible to explain how sweet is sugar. I can explain how sweet is the cake. A piece of cake, you give me a piece of cake, I can say this is too sweet, this is less sweet, this is right, you know. I can describe anything that is sweet, but how do I describe what is sweetness? So, you know, you never come back to explain what is it. It is a device used by the masters to give us an ideal to work on, to work for, so that we don't come back midway as if we have reached the state. Buddha would say anatma. There is no atma.
No.
That is his way of teaching. That is his way of teaching. There's a glass of water. You pour this glass of water, you pour the water into the sea. The rishis say, Bhagavad Gita says, Purnamidam. It has become complete. It has reached its destination. The water in the sloka, what do you call sloka, in the gutter outside your house, is connected to the sea somehow. So when the rivers go and merge into the sea, they have reached their perfection, completeness. Buddha looks at the empty glass of the water and he says, Nirvana. The glass is empty. The goose is out.
Yeah.
So it depends on our perspective, how we are looking at it.
So it's all depending on perspective. And actually, this is what is written also in the beginning, the chapters of your book. It's about how we see life, right?
Oh.
But how about the answer of the why Atma, a confused Atma? What's this confused Atma?
Yeah, this is my new discovery, my latest discovery. Actually, I worked on it a bit in my Indonesian version, the one that was published by Gramedia. But I was not really very open there. It was that the idea was just developing. But when writing this English transcreation, this idea was fully developed. So when the Atma is so confused that it identifies itself, if I identify myself to this house or to the car that I own, then a small scratch to the car will make me very much distressed.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say that you can burn my house. No, I will not be affected. I'll be affected. Yeah. Don't burn my house. Yeah. Don't burn my car.
Yeah.
Don't break my car. But I know that the car is not me. But there are some people who identify themselves to what they have. This is me. This is me. This is me.
Yeah, and then it's very interesting also when I mentioned to someone because he or she was like failing in something and then she lost something. I said, but that is not you, you know, you're not identified by the things that you lost. And then the question she gave me was like, so who am I? What do you mean? I lost something. You know?
Exactly, it's what I. That's why Upanishads say, when you lose something, you're actually not distressed, not sad about losing the thing, but it is you who has lost it. Somebody's jewelry is lost. A burglar comes to the house, steals something, robs something. We are not concerned. But if somebody is robbing me, I'm concerned. Something happens to somebody else, I'm not concerned. People are dying every day.
Yeah.
Am I concerned? But if somebody from my family is dead, then I'm concerned. I don't care about others. So this is Jivatma.
So this Jivatma is very individualized.
Very individual. That's why I translated it as individual embodied being.
Yes.
Embodied self.
Yeah. That is interesting. So
whereas Atma is the true self.
This is, if we understand those terms, it will help us to understand more about
because if you translate as soul, last time I used to translate as soul following so many other translators. It doesn't make sense because soul is everything else minus the body.
Okay,
Now I would actually translate soul as Sukshma Sharir, the subtle body. When I die, the subtle body is there.
yeah, but that is not the
That is
Atma.
not Atma. That is not Atma.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think this book is very clear for those people who have not even been introduced to philosophy. Let's just say that, yeah, because a lot of these terms, little I, little u, big U, is like when I was talking like that to someone, they say, "Oh, shut up." It's like I'm not understanding all this. But then in this book, you gave a very simple explanation.
Although
Okay.
I've disappointed you because there are so many
Yeah.
in brackets, and I keep repeating myself because you know all these terms, but I'm not expecting people who are reading Bhagavad Gita for the first time to understand all this terminology.
Yeah, and then in
I keep repeating in Atma and then in bracket true self. Jivatma, the individual embodied being or embodied self. I keep giving all those things explanation in the brackets, within the brackets, so that people get used to all this understanding.